Yeah.
Welcome back. Should we do this entire podcast in like really like New York accents?
No, because I'm actually really bad at accents. I always have been. It's kind of actually a source of shame. Because
really? Oh my God. I saw this guy on Instagram. He does like imitations. He does one of Leonardo DiCaprio. It's insane. Like,
oh, I love imitations.
Did you see that guy who does it? Like,
wait, no, I don't know which specific guy.
Whatever. He's like the stand-up comedian.
I
mean, I watch him on Instagram, but he could be on TikTok.
Oh, well, you're like one of those people that watch
go on Instagram Reels. Yeah.
Why?
Because I don't like TikTok. I like Instagram. Like Instagram, I've been on Instagram since I was in like 9th grade.
Yeah, but the TikTok is like the original source, and you can get better and quicker access.
Sometimes
to the
if I see that like someone's doesn't have the best like they have one funny video on Instagram, but it's not like the best content. Yeah, I'll go check them out on TikTok because I know they have better videos there.
Yeah, and usually a lot more followers.
Some people just repost their videos on Instagram.
Yeah, but they usually sometimes there's like more. They have more videos on TikTok than they do on Instagram. And they post every single one of them.
I don't know how to
like their crowd is on TikTok, and then they go. You know?
Yeah. I just TikTok is a scary place for me. Like we opened this TikTok account, and like I've been posting there, and I don't know why. Like I feel like
it's not.
Everyone who's it's just weird. Like it feels like weirdos. Versus Instagram feels like real people. I don't know how to explain it.
Because I guess all our friends are on Instagram. TikTok is the domain of strangers. Yeah, really.
YouTube also scares me, but in a different way.
Yeah, every platform is really
because YouTube is the comments and they get you. They will say mean stuff on YouTube.
Instagram, everyone's like disassociate with comments because I have no idea who's saying it.
It's
and
so
it's just
weird.
Like I have no idea who you are, and why would I ever take what?
Yeah, it's like at some point, like on one hand, I do want comments because like we're so small and we're growing, so like comments means like oh my gosh, we're getting like some traction. But then at the same time, you're like, who are these people who are commenting? Like I would never comment on some random person's post.
By the way, that's what I think about all the time. It's like okay, so unless someone's harboring like a weird, insane obsession about like going undercover and being like obnoxious online, most people I know would not be a person who like spreads hate on comments and just like says these crazy things.
Well, hate.
I wonder who these people are in their real life. But you know what? I think that's because we just don't know these type of people. Like once you start exposing yourself to the world, you're like, you're probably someone who goes on people's YouTube accounts.
Literally,
and does that.
I was just watching last night. I was watching all Sebastian. Do you ever watch Sebastian Maniscalco? I think his last name.
The comedian.
Yeah. Do you ever watch his bits?
Not really. No.
He is so funny. And there's this one bit he does about like just the internet, like is just such a crazy place. How like people who, like everyone who did like weird shit, like they did it in the privacy of their own home and nobody knew about it. Now there's the internet and they could find like 100 other people who would like associate with them in that way. And they like form this group. Like I forgot what example he was saying, but like, it's just the internet, like just exposes these weird people that we've never known, like we've never met in our life.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, but I do want to say the support comments are really nice. Like I would post, if I was really touched by something, I'd be like, wow, this was amazing.
Yeah.
But I'm talking more like these like weird comments of like, who do these people think they are? I don't know, like things like that are hate comments. It's like, why?
Hate comments are also like irrelevant comments that are like have nothing to do with the content or anything at all.
Right.
I find those too, where it's just like, what are you saying here?
You guys suck.
No, not a hate
like
comment.
What?
I'm saying like something that's not
irrelevant.
Like irrelevant. Yeah,
like
it's not directed towards. I don't know. Like some comments will just be like, not even talking about the content or anything like that. They'll just put something in there, to be like present in the comment section.
Oh, some people will be like, DM me, I have a promotion for you.
It could be one of those, yeah. But those are just like usually
some
scams.
like really popular videos. I see like 100 comments of people being like, they'll tag like an account and they'll be like, this person sent me amazing flowers, and there'll be like 100 of those posts because they're trying to promote like this person's product.
Those accounts are so creepy.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Kate. But the thing is, talking about comments, the comment section on TikTok, when it's on, obviously, I guess a For You page where there's like millions of views or hundreds of thousands of views, are always like sometimes even funnier than the post itself.
1,000%. That's the first thing I go to.
Oh, absolutely. Like it's even like a community there.
It's these like little like phrases that people come up with, like what is it like?
Oh my God.
Not this person that like that's so funny.
Yes.
Or like he really said, and they.
By the way, this is
so
where
funny.
I feel my age because I always feel like I'm 70, which is beyond whatever I've explained that before, but. Being a 23-year-old in college where a lot of people are like 18, 19, even 17 sometimes, that kind of humor is very quick for those ages. Like that's the way they talk even. It's a different way of like being. And I don't have that lingo. I'm like a little bit older and I already feel like already displaced, but people who have that kind of humor, they're the TikTok people. It's just so funny.
It's so funny the things people come up with. Yeah, like the little phrases. I love the comment section. It's so funny.
Yeah. People are so funny in the comment section.
I'm trying to think of like what
I know. I'm
video.
trying to think of a specific example.
By the way, I perfected my algorithm.
Yeah.
My algorithm right now on Instagram is like just funny
TikTok.
Funny video. I don't go on TikTok.
Okay, because my algorithm on TikTok is like, people say it's a waste of time, but I don't feel like I'm wasting my time on my TikTok account because my algorithm shows me videos that I actually appreciate in like in a multitude of ways. Either because I'm learning something, either because I'm getting inspired, or like it's teaching me things and like more to be more empathetic. People have amazing content on TikTok.
I love when I find like people who are just so creative on these social platforms. Like random people are just doing things that are like incredible that you literally would never see if there's no social media. And that's another thing about social media is that people like to like talk bad about it and how it's like messed up this generation, they're all on social media, which could be true if you're addicted to it in a bad way. But like the way that any person can start a company or put their talents out there because of social media is incredible.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I do think that there's like the net positives are far fewer than the net benefits of social media. I think especially
you just said the net positive and the net benefits.
Oh, I meant, okay, thanks. The net I guess opposite of positive, negatives.
You're saying that the net negatives are greater?
Are greater, yes.
Interesting.
Sorry for making that confusing. I think it's
I think it depends who you are.
Worse.
I think it depends who you are. I don't think that's true. For me, it's not.
I'm talking about an average. I'm talking about like an average scale. I think social media has like affected people in worse ways than they've helped them.
How is that true? If so many people have like used social media as a way, I mean, like literally anybody out there who wants to start their own company or whatever it is uses social media.
Yeah, I mean, it's helpful and it could be a helpful tool, but it's crazy that unfiltered, it's harmful. And you have to always set boundaries. If you're a healthy person using social media, that means you have some sort of complex relationship to it. You're not just like using it or you're in it with all the time, or you know what I mean? Like it's something that you have to actually think about.
Of course.
So if it is, that means it's like, for most people, then it's not something that they've like worked on and like figured out. It's usually just like it's draining them. It's the comparisons that you make on social media, especially.
I think teenagers,
17 to 20.
I think younger people for sure. It's probably negative because they're probably not starting their own companies then or using it as business.
You ever seen Facebook and old people?
I mean, like
it's bad. It's bad on there.
No, I don't go on Facebook. Like I actually don't.
You don't know, but like,
and Twitter not either. I don't understand why you're on Twitter. Like I
haven't gone on Twitter for years now.
I never understood Twitter. Like it's just also like the Wild West. People are saying crazy stuff. Like people are just like, it's literally just a hate platform.
Oh, not really. Actually.
Instagram is like so positive.
Oh, you're obsessed with it.
No, it's actually not true. People are really mean on Instagram too. But like, like back when I had my chapped lips, do you remember that?
Yeah.
And I don't know what I was thinking. I went back to one of my videos and my lips were actually disgusting. Like it was crazy.
Your lips were not.
They were nasty.
No, they weren't. Like when you had chapped lips.
It was insane. Like I had a cold sore here, whatever. But in every video that I posted, I got at least one.
So hard.
By the way, it's so funny when I talk about I got at least one comment, like as if we're so big, but I did. So take that.
I mean, yeah.
At least one comment being like, "Those lips are distracting." Like, what is going on?
No, I mean,
so people are mean, but
people also really, really feel like they're protected on the internet, especially if you have some sort of stupid username like incel 577, you know, like whatever, that their identity will never be shown, and you can really just spew all your negativity onto others, which is just, and so that's why.
By the way, I click on whoever follows us. I click on them, and some of the accounts are so weird. Like, I don't want to hate on any of our followers. But on Instagram, like,
are you real? That's my question.
Right. Some of them are like clearly fake.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, weird, like over-filtered photos, like oversaturated photos of like.
Yeah. Sometimes these accounts are just like not real. Like, I don't understand. Sometimes I don't understand. Like, I don't. No, I don't understand the internet sometimes. Like these, I feel like they're just Ukrainian bots or something like that. You know,
Ukrainian.
Everyone I don't know.
Everyone says Russian bots. Why did you just say Ukrainian?
Maybe it's on my mind because Ukraine. I wanted to talk about. I do stand with Ukraine.
I know, but like
I want to talk about like our travel. experiences. And I've been to Ukraine, so I think that's why.
I totally forgot. I wrote a list of things that I went to, and I did not put Ukraine on the list.
Are you kidding me? That was one of the most influential trips I've ever taken.
Influential if you're counting how long hours you've been on a bus for.
I feel like the joke would have been better if you actually would have executed it well. But it was fine. I got you.
Influential if we're talking about how long we've been on buses.
I feel like the bus rides added to the like aura of spirituality because it's like we're going on this journey. It felt like we were on a horse and buggy, like traveling weeks and weeks.
So for me, it was the opposite.
The altar.
It was just so stressful to be on a bus for 8 hours. Yeah. Once we got there, it was nice, but like
what was that one place?
So badly.
Not Haditch. What was that one place?
Mezbush.
Yeah,
a Shabbos in Mezbush.
No. It wasn't Mezbush. It was the
off. Yeah. By the way, if you want to know,
interrupted you and you were like having a moment. You can totally go back.
No, it's fine, but the moment's lost. But I do want to say that those songs that I listen to on Instagram, the songs that I listen to on the treadmill, are like these like Yiddish songs.
I was literally just thinking about that with my roommate. We were like cleaning up our apartment last night, and she put on some like Israeli songs, and so it wasn't like the Hasidic songs like you're listening to on the treadmill, which is, by the way, we should come back to that.
It's like so like no, not Mordecai and David, but like these like
that line you will never cross. Like, I'm sorry, you stepped into this domain. I'm free.
No,
like I'm just trying to reach out here and like you said Hasidic singers.
I like Hasidish, like Yolis. I don't listen to Avram Fried. Like I cannot listen to him. Yes, like Mati Steinmetz.
Okay.
Like Shmuel Unger.
I don't know who that is, but I get you.
And he sings a Shabbos
like that remix.
That
remix that you put on the car every single time we go somewhere.
Yes,
that
exactly.
Journey remix. What is wrong with you?
It's not Journey.
Why are you listening to that? No,
not that. So I listen to, first of all, Ishai Reba. I listen to like Omar Adam, like those type of songs that are like Israeli but Jewish songs. And I don't know why, but it's just the thing that distracts me. And then when I'm down like on the first floor when I'm doing like weightlifting, that's when I listen to like pop music and stuff.
Interesting.
It's very weird, and I don't know why. Like,
it's just the method that works for you.
Yeah, but like I try listening to like songs that I'll listen to while I'm walking and stuff. But treadmill, I need a specific type of distraction. And
that's kind of funny that works for you.
Yeah.
I would.
I'll listen to like.
That's so what? Why? How does that? You just don't. You're so. I get it because I'm trying to come up with this theory. Like it has to make sense.
I get it.
You're so far gone. Like you're spiritually connected in those moments that you're not in the physical domain.
It's like
of this world.
No, that's not what it is.
That is so what's happening.
It's not like that guy who had the surgery and was like singing a nigga and was able to like
that's exactly
not feel
what
the pain.
It is.
It's maybe it's that. But I don't think so. It's more just
be so supportive of somebody.
Like, makes me think of like me. Like I said in another podcast, which I got called like really weird, is that like I think of myself like performing.
Who is?
Yes, I've said like that's weird.
Oh, it is. Yeah, but my sister confirmed it.
Really?
Yeah. Well, she didn't say you're so weird, but she's like, Rivka does that. I was like, I know it's weird.
I don't know anything about Rivka. What was I gonna say? First of all, my sister told me that she does that also, so maybe it's a family thing.
You're totally captured by the fact that people think it's weird. No, it's not that weird. But you were saying,
so I imagine myself singing that. Like I would never. There's a slight possibility that I would perform a Yiddish song or a Jewish song versus a non-Jewish song, so it makes it more real. Or like I'll think of like having kumzis with all my friends in seminary. Like that's something that happens.
I guess it kind of takes you away with memory.
Yes,
with memories and
exactly. I have to be in my mind with things.
I got you. Okay, that's interesting. So that you're not really focusing on what's at hand right here.
You're like, if I was an Instagram comment, I'd be like, okay.
I would be releasing all the hate right now.
Anyways, what were we saying? We're talking about Ukraine.
No, but what were we going to say about? Oh, I was saying, so Miri, right? It was my roommate. She put on this new Omar Adam song. I don't know if it's new. I forget the name.
What is it called? Okay.
Something with a lamed.
How's it go? Lahamid?
Something like that.
How does it sound?
It's
sing for us.
Oh, I actually don't know because I just started listening to it.
Oh.
But no. Oh, I know it. It's on the tip of my tongue. Here. Should I put it on right now? Will that be copyrighted for it if we put it on?
I don't like. It's not even like we have enough views to be. It's fine.
No, you could still. Here. This is it.
Levar Alamita.
Yes. Okay.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Oh. Rivka, have you not heard it?
No, I know this. I know the song, but like I've heard it in passing. Rivka. But I have to listen to it. Yeah.
No. It's not
my next
normal.
treadmill song.
There's something about, okay, so it's possible that I feel this way towards Jewish music because of the connection I have towards it growing up.
But can I say that this is like a love?
Don't ruin it for me. Yeah, I mean, okay. No, it's fine. I don't even care about the message because I didn't understand the message.
Just that it's in Hebrew. It's like
it's the ethnic, like Israeli or just Hebrewness to it that I feel it makes me feel like this immense longing for Israel and for my Jewish identity. And like, it's the only kind of music that makes me feel that way. I love not Jewish music and I listen to it all the time. But when I listen to a Hebrew song, like an Israeli song, they give me a specific feeling that no other music gives me.
1,000%.
Like that longing, like that belonging. I don't know. It's so intense.
Sound like you're about to go like off on a rap.
I know.
That longing, that belonging.
I know. Maybe I should
like. Yeah. Maybe we should write something down.
Slam poetry. Slam poetry. You've ever heard of slam poetry?
Oh, slam poetry.
Yeah.
I thought you said Sam Hodri. I'm like, is that a person?
Oh, yeah. No.
Anyways, what was I gonna say? Yeah, I wonder if like, well, obviously this is probably true, but like Indians probably listen to Indian music and are like, they feel that feeling.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's probably because
we grew up with it and it's like our childhood and it's like, it reminds us of love and family. And so, yeah, it is actually pretty cool.
Just trying to explain with the wave of the hands. Yeah, for sure. It's the same way I feel with Nigunim a lot of times. I mean, there's a lot of times when I'm singing Nigunim and I'm not connected. And so it just feels like another like kind of lull.
Right.
But like when you really do put yourself into like the connection of the music.
Sorry. I'm just like imagining someone who's like doesn't know what a niggin is. Listening to us talk and we're being like, ay.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Nigunim are a type of... type of song?
It's a melody.
It's a melody, exactly.
It doesn't have words and it's like, it's, supposed to be holy.
Yeah. Like that would be, and you just go off.
And you go, basically you say, yeah.
Yeah. There's ayayis, but just a bunch of different melodies basically with ayayis. And
it's supposed to be holy and spiritual. And all that.
It's supposed to connect you to these tzaddikim, to these people, these great rebbeim and things like that. So it's,
Okay, so what's the first place you traveled to outside the U.S.?
Oh, like the first ever.
Yeah, like first.
I don't know.
Mine was Israel.
I think mine have been Israel too. When seminary, you're saying?
No, I went in 10th grade.
So would you do a birthday trip?
No. So no. That I would be too young. Basically, in 9th grade, I was supposed to go to teen camp, but something happened. Maybe my parents like signed up too late. Whatever. I couldn't get in. They didn't have any more space. So my parents felt so bad that they were like, "Hey, next year we're sending you on the Israel trip." Like Mrs. Swerlov ran this Israel trip. So the next year I went on this Israel trip. And yeah, that was my first time.
Wow. Okay. Was that a good trip for you?
It was really fun because like everything was planned out, but it was like so clouded by the social aspect of things.
Yeah. Like
I had so much social anxiety back then that like I didn't go with anyone that was like my true friend. Like I went with one friend, but she was not a real, like, she was not a good friend. So like, good.
Yeah.
So that was really hard. Like socially it was really hard. So it was like this thing where I was like, I loved Israel, but at the same time it was like seminary was a 10 times better experience of Israel, you know?
Yeah. And the trip is not a month.
It's 6 weeks.
Maybe? Oh, whoa. It's longer than a month.
Yeah. It's long.
6 weeks. Wow. And was there like, did it get better towards the end or was it just social anxiety all the time basically?
I'm trying to remember. It's funny because then I look at videos of it.
Yeah.
And like, there's videos of me dancing and like, I was very campy, like as a kid, whatever, like always cheering and whatever. So I was doing that. So it's so weird that this, like where I could do that and not care about the social aspect in that way. But like, I didn't feel like I had any friends there, you know?
Yeah.
It was such a weird thing. Towards the end, I can't remember. I think so. I think it was good.
Like, was it also a time when you like grew, I guess, is what I'm saying. Like in that, nah.
It was just stress.
You're so young.
It's crazy.
You know what I mean?
Because by the way, like we think of like Charli D'Amelio. I mean, I'm not pitying her because she obviously she had a very lucky, you know, hand in cards or whatever the phrase is. But when she got big, she was what, 16, 17? And when I think of myself as 16, 17, we were so young.
Oh my gosh.
Life was so different
that I
then.
think about all the time where
even Olivia Rodrigo, like she's so young. Like these people are so young.
People who are older, I feel like a lot lose, maybe it's because of the years that they put on, lose that memory of really how hard it is to be a teenager, even a young person in their 20s. It's really tough. I feel like everyone goes through those times and are just like, I had a lot to learn, a lot to go through. But
and
I
you
feel
realize
a lot
so
of people
much
are just, especially older people are like
they're
already
judgmental.
have a lot of expectations about where these kids should be, and they're kids. And not only are the kids, they're also really like developing a lot.
Because it's hard to like look at it in the moment and be like, oh, they're still growing because they seem like adults.
Yeah, because they seem like adults.
But when you just think about a teenager or what you were like and how like you don't, I mean, even now we're 23, like 30-year-olds will tell us how like you're literally so young. And I believe it, because thinking about when I'm a teenager, my life, just the perspective on life was so different. Everything was so emotional, so like based on like what my friends were doing and like no identity. And like I see teenagers now and like I roll my eyes, but then I'm like, I take a second like thought and I'm like, okay, this is what life is like right now. Yeah,
you have to you literally have to take into account that I don't know if this is actually scientifically true. I think it is. It feels like you don't have access to certain parts of your brain that you have access to later on in life.
For
literally
sure.
the capacity to
the frontal lobe is like,
you're literally developing your brain. So I think everyone should it's so scary. Everyone has to take that into account when you're judging these people and you're like, why are you thinking about it in those terms? It's like, those are the only terms I can think of it in.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
It's also, I mean, even college students, when these 40-year-old men or like 30-year-old people go onto college campuses, these people are 18, 19, and you're telling them, why do you believe in this? And like you're showing that you're so smart by outsmarting a college student.
I feel like we're talking about someone in specific.
I mean, by the way, obviously it started with Ben Shapiro that I've introduced the idea, but there's so many, I see it all the time on YouTube. People do this. Yeah. So it's not like, I think
use college students to like prop up their own genius.
Exactly. Yeah. And Joe Rogan talks about it all the time, how like it's so crazy that this is what the colleges think. It's like you're making, I hate it. I think the people are making such a big deal out of people who are college students. It's one thing if you want to talk to like college professors or like older people who have these ideas, or like Matt Walsh with his new documentary. I think he talks to doctors. I haven't watched it, but like talking to doctors who think that.
Finish. Go.
Yeah, I listened to you're talking about the episode on Joe Rogan?
With Matt Walsh, yeah.
Yeah, I listened to it. The
specific thing about the gay marriage.
No, I didn't see that.
You didn't? It was in the episode with him.
Oh, I didn't finish the episode. I'm like probably like 60% in. But anyways, like in Matt Walsh's documentary, he talks about on Joe Rogan how he talks to doctors who think that like kids should be transitioned. Like, yeah, that's something that we should expose. But when you're talking about how you're speaking to college students, like college students are completely thinking out of like emotional, like how they feel. Like they're not, I don't think most of them are thinking logically. Like some of them are, but like especially the younger ones.
It's weird to really like appreciate that victory, that sense of I demolished. Yeah. And this is like a real accomplishment on your part, when I don't necessarily think it is. And you will come across the college student who is well thought out and I guess approaches the thing that they're trying to debate with the speaker in a more reasonable way. But also these conversations and like the question answer sessions are so not primed for like discussion or debate. They're not what they really are.
It's a question. Ben Shapiro answers it, and he's obviously smarter and like more logical. And then it's like, I mean, he
controls it. And the times when there are real people who have like a back and forth with him, which I like those ones especially because it actually feels like we're getting somewhere there. Maybe there's it's limited. You know, you have a 2-minute time span where you can go back and forth, and it's usually like the speaker has to be like, all right, next we'll you know, maybe follow up with me in an email. Or I've heard at least Ben Shapiro say something like that. But it's like, it's not an accomplishment if you quote unquote demolish someone who came up on the stage and is already using an emotional argument like, you know, trans people are people too, and why are you not recognizing their humanity? And then you say, I'm not recognizing their humanity. I'm calling out the fact that they're not the gender that they say that they are in reality. You know, that they're, if they're a man, not a woman. Right. And then applause, and everyone's like, yeah, because, you know, everyone likes to demolish people these days. It's not, I don't think that's an accomplishment. I think that's just, I actually think that adds to the atmosphere of just vitriol.
For sure. Negative energy and like just like pitting one person against the other. And also the whole idea of like, oh, like this country's effed up, like we're doomed because this is what the college students think. It's like,
I hate fear mongering. I hate
literally,
it.
But you know, Joe Rogan does it all the time. And that's one thing that I literally can't stand about him.
I think it's probably also comes from like a real exposure to things. Like I think that
but he
the
always
more
mentions
you know,
it.
the more you're like, we're effed up here.
Okay, if he's talking about like things that he knows in the government or like conspiracy theories that are true. But if you're talking about college students, like the more you push, this is my opinion, I could be wrong, but the more you push back on it, more sending people to debate people at college students, the more people are going to get defensive and want to stand in their, you know, position, even when they grow, even when they get older. But I think that if like you just understand that these are college students and they're going to go through their process of thinking of emotional, and they're more emotional now, and they're going to grow up and they're going to develop their ideas.
No, I still think that there is a great threat to, I guess, for the freedom of speech, especially in college campuses now. I think it has to do with like postmodernism and the fact that so many, the college is now like more about being a safe space than it is about challenging people and making them uncomfortable, which is, I think, what learning essentially is. I think that there's a huge push for that. And I feel it's important, not that I feel, I think it's very important that there is a pushback against it, because we want to talk about like the specifics about how this has like affected my life. It has.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, so
my class, a lot of our discussions have to be very monitored, or have to be very constrained to make sure that we're not insulting anyone's feelings, and we're using proper pronouns and things like this, which is like
how do they do that, like to not hurt people's feelings?
What? Oh, I'm saying like if let's say if you want to give feedback about something that you've read and you think whatever, you have to do it within a certain you have to use certain language.
Right.
And a lot of times, by the way, it's nonsense, because you're going to say what you thought about it, because let's say it's feedback. It's feedback time. You're trying to get your feedback, but you're going to do it in a way that just makes you feel constricted and fearful that you're going to end up hurting this person. It's almost priming the person to feel offended.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
That's what I was going to say. Like, it's like making the problem before there's a problem.
Exactly.
And like that for sure is crazy. I totally don't agree with that. Yeah. I'm talking more about the idea of like going on college campuses and like destroying their opinions. Like if you're walking into a place into any argument and being like, oh, I'm going to destroy this person's opinion, you're not in a good position to talk to them at all. They're going to be defensive right away. You're going to be defensive right away. And it's just going to go in circles. Like,
it's definitely
you're not changing their minds.
Yeah. The people who come onto these college campuses that are largely against them, it's not for them. It's for their audience on YouTube or wherever they put their videos
Exactly.
on.
So then people who are saying like, oh, we need to go out there to the colleges because we need to change these people's minds. No, you're doing it for yourself and for your views.
I feel like if there are people's minds being changed, it's such a minuscule amount.
It's not happening.
I actually wonder if
I don't think
anybody's. I mean, I'm not as pessimistic as you.
No, I think once people get older, they change their views and they develop their ideas. But I don't think from that one conversation of some
Doesn't
guy.
have the question answer people, but I'm saying the people in the audience might be compelled to think differently. If
maybe,
I don't know.
Maybe, but also like I think people come in with their ideas, they have their disposition, and then like this person, because this person's coming with such like an attack type of way.
Yeah,
it doesn't put you in a position. You're not.
100%. Like that's the whole. What's his? Carl Carnegie, what's the book? The ways to influence people. That's like the basis of his argument. It's like if you're coming to try to change someone's mind, it's always about empathetic listening and presenting your argument in a way that makes people receive them. Jonathan Haidt talks about this in his book, The Righteous Mind. A brilliant book. Everyone should it should be required reading. Yeah. He explains that like at the end of the day, if you're trying to appeal to someone's reason, you have to do it through emotion. And you have to do it through a way where they're going to want to listen to you. And that's not by like, you're wrong, pointing fingers. People look at.
And you know who I think does this perfectly?
Who? Joe Rogan?
No. I mean, yes, Joe Rogan's good at it. But
I don't think Joe Rogan does that actually. I think he does like a tactic where he's so sincere with his like questioning That's like you
he's
automatically.
so curious, and he kind
he's
of
like, but what? I don't understand what you're saying, and he repeats it. And repeats it, and you're like, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about.
But he also kind of people pleases a little bit. I don't know if you see that. Like even with Matt Walsh, like he was like, yeah, totally the gender thing, but then he talks about how like, why do people care if like people are transgender?
I think he needs to.
Right. So maybe that's his tactic. Maybe that's his tactic of like.
I don't think he does it consciously. I think it's his personality. Right. And I think that's why people like him so much.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Like we're talking about that duality. People hate Ben Shapiro because he has no duality. With him,
like either you you love him or you hate him. You know.
I'm in the middle right now, but I did used to love him. So maybe you're right. Maybe.
I'll tell you who I think does this really well is Lex Friedman. Where I mean, you saw. Did you watch the Kanye interview with him?
I didn't. I haven't listened to an interview with him in a long time.
So like, a good example was the Kanye interview where like he was just like, yeah, man, like you can't like call it, like just call out the people who did you wrong. Like he was playing on the emotion of Kanye. Like clearly Kanye is hurt by people doing him wrong. Yeah. But he was showing how like blaming it on all the Jews is ridiculous. Just call out the people. So he had a discussion with Ben Shapiro also recently. He did an interview.
Oh, I listened to that on his podcast.
Yeah, and I think Lex Friedman is more of like
he's a scientist,
liberal, like left. I don't know, liberal or I think he's a liberal, more on the left, whatever. So he was discussing things with Ben Shapiro, but like Ben Shapiro said on his podcast, like, yeah, like I said things when I was like 18 and 19 that like obviously I didn't mean like that. I was like, whoa, like that's hypocritical. Like you're gonna go on college campuses and now you're admitting that like when you're 18 and 19 you say things that are just irrational. But just Lex Friedman like brought that out in him. Like he was able to just bring things, like be able to make Ben Shapiro admit that he was wrong and like stuff like that, you know?
Right. He's,
but he does that where he like sees the other person's point of view, but he's not gonna waver in his thing, you know?
Totally. But with the people who end up being very almost like persuading compassion and like honesty from their debate partners are people who don't have tactics when they're coming to debate. It's not like people who have like these thought out. They're usually coming with a sincere open heart and listening for the truth and trying to get it out of them. Right. Not in a way where it's like, you're wrong. It's a completely different landscape they're on, which is entirely different from like the debate and I have the facts here. It's like almost coming to the debate, like Lex Friedman almost comes with like an intent of like, you actually might have the truth here. You probably do actually. Let me hear what you have to say. And the sincerity almost like compels people to respond in kind. Right.
But he's not going to like bend to like another person's, because he's still going to just like say what he thinks is the truth.
Exactly. Right. You know, Jordan Peterson talks about this all the time. And I love how he talks about it. I think.
Do you think Jordan Peterson has a good way of like talking to people?
I think he struggles with it. And he's mentioned that he does.
Oh, yeah?
Because he
gets like angry.
Yes, he says. He gets.
Because there was this one interview with the girl.
Yeah, I know what
the English girl. And there was a point.
The I was going to say Vogue, but it's something.
No.
The GQ.
Yeah.
The GQ interview,
so he says like, you're willing to offend me in order to have this discussion. And she's like, oh, you stumped me, whatever.
Oh, that was a different one. That was with Kathy Newman.
Oh, okay. So that one I'm talking about.
There's two English ones. Okay.
But like, it just seemed like the whole time he was so like mad at her for like, I don't know. Like it seemed like he came into the interview like upset and like defensive. Yeah. Like, she seems more I don't know. She needed more understanding.
I know what you're saying. She almost seemed
like she was able to say like, oh, you stumped me.
Yeah.
And he was just like.
Yeah. But I can totally understand why he did seem upset. And I think he was. He still articulated his points fully without an emotional way, without emotionally like involving his feelings in it. But he did have like a really pissed off demeanor, which I can understand because, you know, Kathy Newman was annoying. She kept being like, so this is what you're saying. So this is what you're saying. So she can lead to a gotcha moment. That's annoying. Right. That's annoying. Like, are you listening to what I'm saying? You know, like I'm already getting annoyed at that. And so, of course, Kathy Newman wasn't as upset. She wasn't being the one attacked and constantly trying to be reframed. But Jordan Peterson does talk about that all the time. He says, I could be better at it. And I think there are moments when he is brilliant at it. It's a skill, right, Rivka?
I think he comes like, you talked about how like people come with this like tactic and how Lex Friedman doesn't. Yeah. I think Jordan Peterson comes with a tactic.
Really? I don't think so.
I just think he's so pretentious. We talk about this all the time.
Pretentious?
Oh my God. I think he thinks he's like the smartest person in the world.
Oh my God.
And like Lex Friedman is probably one of the smartest people. but he doesn't come off like
Lex
I
Freeman
think I am the smartest
definitely
person.
has a very humble,
so humble,
demeanor.
And I think that is so like it is so much better to reach people when you're like humble, you know?
Yeah, I hear you. I don't think Jordan Peterson
really
has that, though.
really the thing that Jordan Peterson, like, he called the person not beautiful, like I think that's like the thing that like was like, okay, that's it.
That was the thing that got you.
Yeah, because how much of like an ego or entitlement do you have to literally call someone else not beautiful?
No, I get it. I get how that did it for you, but I also don't. It wasn't the case. Like, I think that he was trying to attack the underlying issues of why this has become so politicized.
But the way that it came out just showed his true colors.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think he has a way larger body of work that is his true colors. And like the slip ups that you have, you shouldn't judge someone based on that.
I'm judging his character. Obviously, he's very smart, and like I'm not discounting what he says. Like, I've read his 12 Rules for Life. I think it's a really good book, but I think that he's more smart in the way that like he knows how to frame things, he knows how to write things, he knows how to like say his like thoughts out like really well and stuff like that. But his character, I like,
yeah,
I don't love his character.
I don't agree.
Anyways,
but, yeah, we
disagree on that.
Yeah, I think he's done so much to help people in our like society that I don't think I can never undermine. And I think there are obviously things that you can't come back from, and that upset me. It did. I thought it was just like a low blow, and I was like, "Come on, dude!
Right.
Like, why this?" But I mean, yeah. I mean, just not to repeat myself. I think,
but also like it's not like I liked him for a long time, so it's not like I was like, this is the only thing.
I feel like you never really connected with him and his.
I liked his book in the beginning, and we went to one of his lectures, whatever.
Oh my God, it was amazing.
I mean, yeah, it was fine.
I had the best night.
It was fun. Like, we went together and it was fun, but like, it wasn't like, it was just like him repeating what he says, like the 12 rules.
Yeah, but he was live.
Yeah, no, it was cool. But
we were so close to him.
We actually were not. Remember when we were like,
but I'm saying he was right there.
We were like, should we try to stay for the VIP thing? We were such like little like nerds that we couldn't even try to stay.
Oh my gosh.
Because the VIP, like, people could like meet him in person and take pictures. We were like, should we stay? And we were just like, no, it's like, scurry out of here. Like, it's too scary.
Oh my God. How old were we when we went to that? It was high school, no?
No, Chaya. It was after Florida. We were like 20.
I'm sorry. I have a terrible memory.
It was actually on our Pesach vacation.
It's funny because we're talking about our traveling experiences, which is like, okay.
Yeah, this was not a podcast on our travel experiences, but we could go to that now.
Yeah, we were in, it was in Manhattan, the Jordan Peterson lecture.
It was in Manhattan, yes.
Right. I remember that
That's
much.
That's a good memory.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So we were saying Israel and all of that. So
Israel was my first place, and yours was Israel too, in seminary.
Like the first place internationally that I went.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
Was your first time like flying internationally?
I believe so. I'm trying to remember exactly what my first one was, but I do. I didn't go straight to Israel, like to seminary. I did a trip with
right, you did Birthright.
Yeah,
right.
That was a lot of fun.
Birthright, you had fun. I remember.
Birthright, so much fun. Birthright just like, takes you basically to the entirety of Israel and just like shows you
in
all
like
around.
10 days.
Yeah,
so you're doing like, and it's free.
You're just
like,
it's
literally
free. It's free. Like,
you don't have to do anything.
Free.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Dude, why doesn't everyone do it? Everyone could do it.
Yeah,
you don't have to be Jewish.
Yes, you do.
I think there are programs for non-Jews. I'm serious.
Wait.
Yeah.
I think one of your parents have to be Jewish.
I think that there are programs dedicated specifically to like Gentiles who want to know more about Israel.
Okay. I think maybe we'll do research after.
I feel like maybe you don't believe me. Yeah.
No. I just don't know. Like, I'm just like, we keep on saying I think, but I have no idea.
I've
so you Birthright, and then we were both in seminary together.
Then we lived in Israel for a year. That's big. By the way, that's a big thing. Like,
yeah, a year is a long time.
Like, you lived abroad? Like, yeah, we lived abroad in Israel for a year. Yeah. That's really cool. People although like, we were really in like a chasm of
we
English
were in because we were with like the whole program was with Americans, and we're like in this dorm. It was kind of like college because I got credits from that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like college, and you're in a dormitory, and everyone's like American or Australian or like English speakers basically. And all our classes were in English, but we did
have some South American people though too.
South America, yeah. But and Argentinian people and Brazilian people maybe, I don't know, and French people.
Well, South America.
But we did get to travel like around Israel and really like see it, because also there's a difference between doing it like in 10 days, you're doing all the touristy things. But here we did like, we went to spend like Shabbos with families of Israel, like just like seeing like different cities and like how different people live. I mean, we talked about this on the podcast before. We went to Jerusalem once for Shabbos, and we stayed in this like really poor area. What?
Oh wait, was that when we all like were on the floor with the mattresses?
Yeah. Why were you freaking out?
Wait, because I totally forgot about that experience, and now
we spoke about it on the podcast before, I think.
Wait, no, that was a different. Well, we spoke about the story of going to the person's Shabbos.
Yeah, that's what I was going to talk about.
But the actual we were sleeping on the floor.
So we had like one of our friends had this relative who owned this like shack on top of a building. Like, I don't even know what it was. It was like so you walked up.
We were like, where is it? Yeah, exactly.
And you're outside, and then you enter this like shack with like a little kitchen and bathroom, and it's like one tiny room.
No.
And we all like slept on.
Remember there was like a lizard that was running across the mattresses? You don't remember that? No. I remember that. There was a lizard or something like that when we were going to sleep.
Or something like that.
No, it was a lizard.
There was no lizard.
There was literally a lizard. We can ask people to
confirm.
To confirm.
So we were all sleeping. It was 6 of us.
It was so uncomfortable.
Oh my gosh. That was like the start of our little like group, you know? Because after that same group, we all went to Thailand
That
together.
was a blast. That was when Purim. Was that Purim?
It was Purim, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that we were all dressed up, like going around.
Dressed up is a stretch. I think I was like wearing like braids in my hair, and I was like dressed up.
Yeah, I think I put like on a crazy
tutu or something.
I was like, I'm a hippie, like girl.
So yeah, we stayed in that place. That was fun.
Yeah,
and then we went and then shopped, and then we went to this like the city in Jerusalem. What is it called? I think it's something with an R, whatever, I'm forgetting. And we went to this family, and like, we didn't know, like, she was like, yeah, sure, I could host you guys. And we're 6 people, like totally. We walk in, it's like 2-bedroom, tiniest apartment ever with, I think they had like 6 kids. So 2 bedrooms for 6 kids. Their kitchen was like 2 feet small. Like, it was crazy that she hosted us. It was like so nice. And we were like, and like, we just experienced like that type of poverty, I guess. I don't know. It was just so.
Yeah. It was such a meaningful experience, I think. Really like took a lot away from that. Like I just felt
but at the same time, it was like so weird. Like we're like sitting at this person who like just.
Yeah, it was definitely like a little bit of an abnormal situation. You know, their kind of questions were like, wow, are we really like imposing ourselves here? It doesn't seem like they could afford to have 6 people. Like there was food we ate, but it was definitely not plentiful. I guess maybe not from the privilege that we're accustomed to. So
which we talked about before, like I think in another podcast we were talking about how like everything is so relative. Like I didn't grow up in a humongous house. We were in New York City in 2 apartments put together, whatever, but like with 8 kids and all that stuff. But then when I look at that, I'm like, oh wow, we're so privileged.
Yeah.
So everything is so relative. And I'm sure
absolutely.
Those kids are like, they're not necessarily remembering because they're just like living together. They were having fun together. Like
it seemed like they were such a beautiful, loving, tight family that the square footage of their house really had no implication on.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
What this family dynamic was, which seemed really nice. I don't know. This is just one telling, and maybe we're like romanticizing it in our head.
Exactly. But that was just one experience. But another experience that we had that was like similar to that type of thing is in South Africa when we went to visit that city that everyone like Soweto.
Yeah, Soweto villages.
Yeah, it's also like this weird experience where you're like walking around.
Oh, that was very strange.
Looking how people are so
weird
poor.
Doing that.
Yeah, like what is that type of thing? Like we were on an organized trip, so like we didn't plan this, but like you get off the bus and you're just basically walking around. Like, yeah, this is how the people live. They live in literal shacks with like no running water. Like,
yeah, what? I mean, these are like organized tours through the Soweto villages, which is I think the poorest, if not one of the poorest parts of South Africa. Where people are quite literally living in like mud huts and they don't have really running water. I think they have to go to like a well or if there's like a tap or something like that. And you're kind of taken throughout the villages with a tour guide. And, the kids are kind of accustomed to this because they're kind of like, they're watching you and like saying hello or whatever. And it, for lack of a really better term, and I don't want to describe it like this, but it almost felt like, I don't even want to say like.
What?
Like, kind of how you feel when you're going to the zoo or something, like
right.
like we are
We're like, different species watching you guys.
And then when so uncomfortable, and at the end when girls were like basically throwing money.
Yeah, like everyone was like, okay, let's give money and whatever. And then the tour guide was like, no, don't give them money.
No, the tour guide was a confusing
it was
situation.
So weird. Like,
we're like, he was don't give them money. Like, is that not the point of
Because we were also like, okay, well, let's give it, because they had like a little play group. They were like, let's give it to the play group, and they'll like be able to like, I don't know, run a better, build a house there. I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, they just, it makes it worse for them. Then they rely on the money. I'm like, we all rely on money.
No,
what do
I
you
don't
mean?
know. I just felt
it was
so wrong,
weird.
and I felt so bad the whole time. And I don't know.
It's a weird trip. It's a weird situation to do that.
I don't know, because I also
like,
feel like a white savior type of complex. Like, I didn't want to put myself in this situation, and like I just the whole thing just felt so wrong. Like, even as I'm thinking about it right now, like I get uncomfortable. I'm like sweating. So weird. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't think anyone should ever do that. I don't, unless this is like, this is something I'm like going, like I'm getting nervous. Like, unless this is something that they want.
But the only reason that I would say that they want it is to like raise awareness for money. But then when we tried to get money, the guy was like, don't give them money.
Maybe I was a tour guide connected to like the community. I have no idea.
Maybe it's like run by like a mafia who's like
I don't know. It's just so weird. And yeah, whatever.
I mean, the tour guide seemed like he knew what he was doing, because he like lived there and he like done this a million times, but like it just didn't make any sense. And he also didn't give any explanation, really. He was just like, it makes it worse because then they rely on it. It's like, we all rely on money. We all rely on food. We rely on these things. Why is that bad? But also, like, could you imagine if like they organize like Hollywood tours or like rich people's tours to like look at our houses in Brooklyn? Like, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that level. Like, what, we're just looking at how people are so poor.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
With like no solution.
Yeah. That's weird. How it felt like, oh, we're just cruising on by to see how lucky we are. Like, it's just awful. I don't know. I wouldn't recommend anyone ever do something like that. And I'm sure there's organizations that are like,
yeah, like if you're going to go to like build a water system or do good there, then yeah, go. But
yeah, but like these tours, what the hell?
Anyways, well, before South Africa, we went to Thailand.
I hope like I don't know. I hope I didn't like represent that in any like weird way. Like what I meant is that made me really uncomfortable, because I didn't like being put on this other side of like, I'm more privileged, and I felt weird, this divide that was happening as we were walking. And I obviously felt so empathetic towards these people who are, you know, just born into the kind of situation that they're born into. And it felt like weird. It just felt weird. Yeah. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, before South Africa, we went to Thailand.
Yeah. Thailand trip, man.
That was fun.
Together. Yeah, that was. I remember Thailand.
Deciding to buy the tickets was like, okay, we're all doing it. Like, I think I'm the one who came up with the idea.
Yeah?
Yeah, like I wrote on the group, guys, like I really want to go traveling. I really want to go to Thailand, because one of our, like, somebody told me like they went backpacking in Thailand and it was amazing.
Didn't we have like a crazy situation or something with tickets? Or
yeah, we bought tickets and then I think it was like a scam.
Oh yeah.
And then the girl who bought the tickets, she bought it like on her father's credit card, and like he had to like literally figure the whole thing out. And she said it was like 3 a.m. and he's like typing away on his computer. I don't know. But we figured it out. We got our tickets back.
Oh my God. Wait, yeah, now I remember.
And then we got there and our luggage got completely lost.
Oh, that was fun.
Literally, I have a freaking, like, I have a streak with my baggage being lost.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know. So there was another girl on the trip who has like a streak of bad luck with flights and things like that. So we were cursed with you guys.
Like, our flight was fine. We got there good.
Flight was fun. Then we like, remember we went on this really weird, like the rickety plane or something after we already landed, and we all watched a movie. From
Hong Kong to Thailand or to Bangkok.
Yeah,
we watched like a movie. We all played it at the same time. The plane was
like empty. Yeah, we all played it at the same time.
I wish we had like everyone here to reminisce it. It would be so fun.
So much fun.
But yeah.
Then we landed in Bangkok and our bags were gone, and we're like, oh, this is wonderful. And then the next, we had to basically
at first it was like, oh, adventure, you know, and then like we
realized we didn't have anything, and it's really not an adventure. And then we had to go on the street the next morning to like buy like clothes. I still remember the shirt I bought. And like this was
the first time that like I was like traveling to somewhere, like Israel's a first world country, but like to somewhere where it's like not so like you don't know what's going on and all that. And I was just like so scared, and it was like 3 a.m. And like we get to the main thing and we see like 7-Eleven. We're like, 7-Eleven? What is going on? And then we get to the main square and it's like hustling and people are selling things. It's like,
oh my gosh, 3 in the morning. It was like 3, 4 a.m. and everything was like open, hustling, and there were people like,
what is going on?
Wide awake.
We're like, great, let's get some shirts.
People were selling stuff, like fruits and things like that.
We had to buy like pajamas. We bought like these wrap skirts that like
They were hideous.
The thinnest things I've ever experienced.
Oh my gosh. But we did end up getting our luggage that night, right? Like they delivered it to the Chabad house or something.
The next day, because we were like deciding, like, should we just go to Chiang Mai and like just see what happens with our bags? We're like, and we were having we have a video of all of us arguing.
I think I was on team waiting for the bags. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think I was also.
Like, what the heck? Mushki for
Mishki was like, nah, let's go.
We're leaving. Why do we need anything but ourselves? You know?
Kylie was trying to be like the mediator. She was like, okay, you talk. And we were just going in circles. Oh my God. And we were so overtired and we were just like dying of laughter.
No,
that video is actually on my Instagram.
Oh, okay. If anyone wants to check it out, it's following
Rivka.
All right, you can't do it. No, sorry.
No, I'll post it.
That first night in the hostel was actual hell for me, also because I have such a hard time like sleeping with noise and sleeping in general. So it's just like I needed like a quiet.
Oh my God. I feel like that was like, was that your first experience of like trying to fall asleep in that type of situation? Like doing a hostel? Was that your first time doing a hostel?
Was that my first time doing a hostel? I think it might have been, yeah. Unless there might have been experiences in Israel no, with Birthright, there was probably definitely experiences like that. I think that's where I got my like anxiety. I was like, this is never happening again.
Right.
You know, but yeah, that was tough. That hostel wasn't particularly nice also. Like there were times like in Thailand there were times when we got Airbnbs that were gorgeous. We just like had the wildest range of like experience.
I know. We stayed in like we didn't plan anything. Like we planned like our route, but we didn't plan like where we were going to stay.
By the way.
Which everyone says is nuts, but like that's become my preferred way of traveling because you just don't know until you get there. Like when we went to Mexico, you didn't come to Mexico, but when we were there, we planned an Airbnb for Shabbos, and then only once we were there did we realize it was like an hour walk away from the Chabad, and then we were just like looking around, and we found a 10 times better like like hostel style, but it was like our own private place, for cheaper, and it was better, it was nicer, it was more comfortable, and like that was on the spot.
Yeah.
So it's like literally my preferred way of traveling. Just like if you're going to a place that's like more chill, like obviously if you're going to like, you want to sleep fancy in a fancy hotel, book in advance. But if you're doing like backpacking style, like just do it on the spot.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot more nerve wracking. I think for people who like to plan, like to know, it's more of a chaotic way.
But that's why like if I travel with someone who's just like, who always figures it out, then I'm like, okay.
Yeah, by the way,
you figured it out.
That's something that if you're considering traveling or anything like that, I think that like, there are different traveling types, and you can travel with anyone really, but you have to be able to communicate, especially on trips. Like if you want to be friends at the end of it,
oh my God, it could be tough. Also, like you could figure out that like some people are just not good to travel with. Like you could have friends that are just like they're not your way. Like they don't do things that you would like to do, so it doesn't work out.
Yeah,
you know? Like,
I would be cautious of that though. I might be like projecting some insecurities here because I wonder if people think I'm that person that like
but it's not a bad thing. Like I'm sure people are like, yeah, Rivka is not the person that I would want to travel with just because the way that she travels.
No, I always feel I don't think so.
I'm sure there's I'm sure, but like I mean it's not a defense. It's just like people
are hard to deal, like are entitled, or
but I'm not talking about that,
or even monetary makes a difference. Like I've actually traveled with different groups who are the monetary aspects come quite into consideration. Some people are wanting to spend more, and that means if you're doing things as a group, you're going to have to also
because you don't want to be that person to be like I don't want to,
yeah but so I guess in that sense, but like in the sense where like in any other way, I think like you can always make it work and have fun. Do you know?
Yeah, no, because some people want to plan out in advance. Some people want to just take a day. I plan just like taking it day by day. I do not want to plan in advance.
But you're not willing to go on a trip with someone who wants to plan it out? What's if
somebody wants to like literally plan, if someone wants to plan out every single second of the trip, it's not that it's like, okay, I don't know if that's going to work out.
Okay. I don't think that's realistic. That there's someone going to be like, every minute must be this.
No, but even if they want to do like, okay, let's plan each day what we're doing. What's our like?
Yeah, you're not down for that.
No, it makes it less fun for me.
Well, but what's if the plan?
I feel like are you the type of person to plan out every day? Is that why you're saying?
Not at all.
Oh, okay.
In fact, I always want to just latch onto somebody who knows the plans and who's going to do the planning, because I don't like do that.
No, I don't mind like planning.
What's if
What's
someone's plan? Okay, Wednesday, Thursday, we're just gonna take it chill. But they're planning that, right?
Yeah, that's so like I don't know what's gonna happen. Maybe we'll meet somebody there that's like gonna be like, come on a hike, and then we'll go.
Totally, but I'm saying somebody who plans for those things. So Wednesday is a set day in their mind where we're taking it chill.
So I'll tell you what the problem is, because then they have these expectations in their mind, and then once you get there, and like let's say it's not a chill day for you, and you want to do something else, then it's like, oh, but we plan to be chill today. It's like, but no, I don't want to sit on the ground and play guitar all day. I want to go on a hike. So you want to
go on trips with people who have zero expectations,
who are able to just be like completely malleable, like all the time.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So then I guess maybe you do have to figure out who.
And maybe I'm not flexible for your standard.
You're unflexible.
But no, I'm not.
No, but it is.
I'm unflexible in my preferences flexibility of the unflexibility of travel.
Oh, I just feel like that was a word vomit, but I get it. I mean, I don't think so.
Because like somebody's like, oh, I needed Wednesday and Thursday to be chill, and then Friday we're gonna do a hike, and then
there's a lot of benefits for going on a trip with somebody who plans things out and takes into consideration when you're going on a trip, Rivka, and you haven't taken into account any of the things that might need to be taken into account if you've
what's going on?
If you're going
taking account into
we're doing the same. We're having the same problem with the words.
It's just late at night right now.
It's way too late. I'm saying if you're going on a trip with somebody who actually took into account the fact that this specific hike you need to sign up 4 days in advance, and you also have to.
Oh yeah,
that matters.
No,
so you're gonna just go on a trip and then just expect to be able to do things. That's stupid, especially if you're gonna want to go to Peru. Let me segue.
Oh, I've never been to Peru, but you talk about Peru.
Yeah,
go off, Queen.
No, I'm do you not agree with that?
No, I get what you're saying. Like, if you're with somebody who's like really into the research and like knows how to like get good deals and all that.
You just want it all.
No,
Chaya. It's unfair, and you want it all, and you're annoying me.
No. What? That's amazing, but that's not a necessity for me. The necessity is the ability to be like completely like go with the flow during the day.
You're annoying because you're saying
like if I want to sleep
good, but it's not good because if they're doing that, then there's going to be some sort of expectation. Like, okay, guys, 4 days in, we have to sign up for this, and the expectation is there because you're going to have to.
I don't want someone, because I also went traveling with somebody, and the situation was that she already saw the place and she was just like kind of living there, and so I came and I was like there to travel with her, but she didn't want to do anything. So then it was very hard because I didn't have anyone to go out and do the different things that I never saw. So that was one situation where, yes, it was annoying that the person didn't want to really, she just wanted to chill all day.
Yeah.
But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the like,
no, that's not what I'm talking about.
Like not being able to like just change your plans last minute if something comes up or like all that type of stuff. Like, you know, like if you have a plan out for, I feel like some people that you've traveled with have that. Like they have a plan out for the day and like that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's what I'm talking about. But
I hear you. I think
you can't do that in Peru.
I think it's kind of like almost a necessity when you're traveling to be flexible.
Yeah.
Traveling is chaos and you have to embrace it. But at the same time, there could be order. And I feel like it's actually, if I'm traveling with somebody who tries to impose a little bit of order on her trip, I'm super grateful for that. I really am. And there could be times, there are a lot of times when plans have to change and you should be flexible to it, but it's not a deal breaker at all. Like, but I would say a plan and you have to change. Like,
listen, I would say that probably the biggest thing now that I'm thinking about it, when it comes down to, is like being someone that you're comfortable with, communicating, saying what you need to say. And I think at the end of the day, if you have fun with somebody, and you're able to be like, I don't know that, then it's fine. That's what I
said at the original start of this argument. You agree with me? Did I just Lex Friedman this whole thing right now? I think I did.
You wish.
I did.
You said that in the beginning?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I actually think like most things aren't a problem, and you can work around everything. It's just I think you can really go traveling with anyone, but I mean not really anyone. But.
Yeah, not anyone. It has to be somebody that like you're friends with. Like if you're close with somebody, then chances are that you'll have a good time. I don't know.
Honestly, by the way, it's like it's really traveling is really tough. Like you can really
have a bad experience.
You can really like lose friends.
Oh,
there's something about, like I said, the chaos, the stress, but
also it's like the uncertainty of traveling. Like sometimes you see people's like
brings out the worst.
Yeah, like sometimes
also the fact that you're not sleeping a lot of times.
You're not sleeping. You're not in like your comfort zone.
You're not in your comfort zone.
But
you're
like
not in your home.
It's like you're not. That's why I'm saying like you can see true colors of people sometimes. Not true. you see a different side of people. That's what I'm trying to say.
I feel like traveling is like marriage.
Okay. We're getting into the metaphors. It's that time of night.
I'm just saying it's just what it is. You're seeing the true color. It's like putting yourself in, you know that when you're traveling, you're going to be in scenarios where it's going to be very, very highly stressful. It's just going to happen. Unless you're going to a resort in Mexico and just lying on the beach all day. If you're backpacking, there's going to be stressful. Right. I just went to Guatemala and I hiked the mountain of Catenango. And anyone who's done it knows it's a very, very difficult hike. You know, you could take a horse up or you can actually hike by yourself.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
I did like half and half.
So I actually hiked up the thing. The people that I went with ended up taking horses and hiked up half of it and did half and half like you did. But there's no choice going down. You have to hike down. And one of the girls that I went with, she's like really not a hiker. She's like a bookworm. Every time I think about it, I crack up because she's a homebody. Like she's an introvert homebody, stays with a book in a corner of bed and she's happy. The fact that she was like having to run down this hill constantly.
Oh my God, the hill is like
on her face. Rivka. It was actually...
Oh my God. By the end, so you were laughing at this girl's pain. Is that what you're telling us right now?
I was laughing so hard.
That's like the hill. So up is hard because like, but down is like, might be even harder.
Will mess up your knees.
It's like so steep and you just have to kind of run down the whole thing.
You just have to embrace the fact that
you're freezing cold like in the morning. You get warmer as you go down, but like...
I was actually fine because they give you like sweaters and you can rent, like you can... take sweaters.
Yeah, but you weren't cold like when you woke up, like in the
night? I was freezing.
I couldn't go to sleep.
In the tent.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I wasn't sleeping.
But they say you're supposed to sleep naked. Did someone tell you?
No. Oh, you rushed that because you saw. Can I interrupt you? I'm sorry. The execution wasn't
had to
there.
Get that out.
Stuffed it in there. You just stuffed it.
No, because also I thought that you knew what I was saying, so you were gonna like tell me. Like, no. To sleep naked. I thought we were gonna say the same time.
I felt like it was really important for me to tell you that most of the people in my tent woke up in the morning like freaking Beauty, like the Beauty and Beauty and the Beast. Were like, that was an amazing night.
Oh my God.
I had the best sleep. Me, Manya, like Goldie were like, we can't. Let's go. We love. They were like, no, that's crazy. That is crazy.
So somebody said that the sleeping bags that they give you is like thermal, but like body temperature thermal.
What are they talking about? They're like the Costco version. What are they? Dollar Tree sleeping bags.
I don't know. So he's like, you're supposed to.
Who is this guy? This guy, was he a part of like?
He was part of like a Chabad. Like he was working for the Chabad, and he was. It sounds so weird, but like whatever. He was just like, I'm telling you, you have to like sleep without. You shouldn't bundle yourself up. Basically, you'll get warmer. I was like. That makes no sense.
Wait, if you wear no clothes, you'll be warmer?
Yes. I was like, how does that make sense? We put on coats and sweaters to feel warmer. Should I walk outside in the New York freezing cold without anything? Is that what you're telling me? He's like, no, it's specifically with like what the thing is. So then I was like, okay, whatever. I didn't believe him. I was freezing cold. And then my sister said that when she was on our bed.
Maybe I'll try it.
Also, like, I mean,
everyone in your tent is like, whoa,
yeah,
what are you doing?
Boundaries.
No. I'm telling you.
Yeah, like, also, I'm like literally in a tent with 3 other people. Like, what am I supposed to do? He's like, yeah, but I'll tell you. Like, yo, like, bro.
He was messing with you.
No, but then I talked to my sister and she was like, yeah, I did that and it worked.
Are you serious?
Yeah, she's like, I was way warmer. So I think it's something with the sleeping bags. I don't know.
Wow.
It's like, it's science.
Maybe it's, no, I think it might be like something like evolutionary. Do you know what I mean?
I think so.
Like I'm saying, you're tapping into your caveman side and your body's going into
people literally will
mode.
Freeze to death if they're outside. I think it's something to do with the actual sleeping bag.
That part actually makes no sense. Like I'm really trying to theorize this and how
maybe let's have him on the podcast and have him explain this.
The sleeping bags were the problem. Like because they did nothing, and you're like, oh, against the sleeping bags, it'll be fine.
By the way, the sleeping bags like gaslit us.
We did it.
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna keep you warm, but actually, like you first need to.
They're these flimsy little things, of course, and it was freezing.
Yeah, I don't know. So apparently, you're supposed to strip down, but. And then when I woke up in the morning, like literally, no, it was like it was like 5 a.m. The couple like next door was playing Friends. I was like, is this necessary? At 5 o'clock in the morning when I'm freezing to death.
Dear Rachel
and they were the ones waking up in the morning like
No, that didn't make no sense to me. Anyways,
yeah, but that was a Catenango. Yeah, wrap up.
On out. Yeah.
Okay, well,
the thing is, we didn't even get to
half our trips.
Half the trips.
Well, if we don't have a guest next week, we'll just do like a part 2.
Yeah. Hopefully find a guest though. I hope you find this interesting.
Yeah, this was like a kind of like a babble.
Yeah, we just had a lot on our minds and we wanted to talk it out. And it's been a while since me and Rivka just sat down together.
It's honestly the funnest ones probably.
I actually like did not have any fun, but like I don't know about you.
Oh, I know. I didn't have fun. No.
Yeah.
No, that was like
we
miserable.
definitely need another guest.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks for listening.
I think we're ending this podcast.